Kevin, the average death rate in the Grand National in the 5 years leading up to 2023 was 1 in 40 horses, and 40 horses ran the race. So the surest bet you could make is that a horse would die. It's statistically 100. If you did it 1,000 times, you'd get it every time. A horse would die. So that's not
No,
a safe rate.
that's incorrect, Ben.
In the 5 years leading up to 2023.
Yeah, Matt, you're talking about running it 1,000 times, Ben. You have to, if you want to use statistics, please broaden them out and make them reflective. The fatality rate in the last 10 years, for example, since those changes, which is the most relevant period, you know, we're talking about the race as it is now, not what it was, what it was 100 years ago. The fatality rate has been 1.26. So look, it's significantly reduced. It was 2% in the 10 years prior to the latest set of changes. So it is tiny. So look, don't mischaracterize the numbers. We're aware of what they are. We're not hiding from them, but please get them right if you're going to repeat them on television.
A horse dies every other day, Kevin. Is that an acceptable death rate to you?
Well, society deems it an acceptable death rate, Ben, because racing continues. It thrives. The overall fatality rate in all of British racing is 0.2% of runners, Ben. Unfortunately, we would love that to be zero. Of course we would. But you can't reduce risk entirely. For example, if 5 people will die on British roads today, Ben, do we ban cars? No. That's 1,500 people die every year on British roads. That's absolutely horrendous. But we don't ban roads because we as a society have decided what acceptable risk is. And that's what brings us back to horse racing. We decide as a society what represents acceptable risk.
If you would, please, Kevin. Ben, come on.
The horse racing industry doesn't have massive support. It's propped up by the gambling industry. It took in 2 billion this year, well, a billion less than the year before, and the Grand National was 300 million on bets. That's what's keeping the industry afloat, not popular opinion. So there was a survey of the Grand National.
Ben, horse racing is the second most attended spectator sport in the UK. Just under 5 million people turned up to the races last year. Just gone at the Cheltenham Festival, the viewing figures, you know, were record-breaking. Once again, 17.25% of people that were watching television during the Cheltenham Festival were watching the races. It's a hugely popular sport, no matter which way you try and dress it up. It's massively popular.
The basic premise of horse racing is that we're breeding horses. Well, you're breeding horses, in fact, Kevin. You're a horse breeder. We race them against each other and bet on the winner. Does that not sound inherently cruel to you? I think it will to many of the viewers.
Ben, the whole point of racing is we've been developing this breed of thoroughbred for over 300 years for athletic excellence. It's not anchored by betting. The whole point is to develop an athlete and try to find out what the very best this wonderful, magnificent animal can achieve. People like to bet on it because it's exciting. But that's not the point. That's not why I breed horses. I breed horses to try and produce the best athlete I can. And from the moment they are conceived, they are given world-class treatment, the very best of care, with a view to making them as healthy and as happy as possible so that when their time comes to show us what they can do as an athlete, they're capable of showing their very best. That's the point of the industry. The betting industry has grown around it because it's exciting.
Ben, is it the jumps that you particularly offends you, or is it all horse racing?
Well, all horse racing, the basic premise of horse racing is we're breeding animals to make them compete against each other, often on dangerous races, and gambling on it. So that in itself is cool, and the whip and the bit. But of course, I think races like the Grand National are cartoonish in their cruelty. I'd say anyone go ahead and watch it. It's pretty impossible to defend, and that's why the industry's made a load of changes, because they know their social license is seriously under threat. So it's extreme end.
It's interesting, Kay, because look, we heard a lot from Animal Rising this time last year. We haven't heard much from them since, because ultimately what we understand of Animal Rising now, Kay, is they're not in the business of opposing horse racing. They don't particularly care. They're in the business of publicity stunts, high attention events where they can get their name out there, draw traffic to their website to get donations for their wider beliefs, which are very extreme, Kay. You know, they believe in everyone should be a vegan, that we should rewild all animal-based agricultural land in the UK. One of their representatives said last year they don't believe anyone should have domestic pets. Kay, I know you're a dog owner. Ben would like to take your dog away and turn it loose into the wild. You know, people need to understand what the wider beliefs of this organisation are.
Okay, it's good to talk to both of you gentlemen. We must
don't
leave
want
it
to
there,
take
but it's
this
good
all
to
day, don't
talk to
worry.
you. I know you're not. I know you're not.
So they
but I
said
wouldn't
that,
let you.
but their
Anyway,
representatives said that publicly, Kay. That's a fact. They've said that
I
publicly.
know that Ben wouldn't take my dogs away from me. Not if he wanted to live.
You might
It's
try.
good to
Very
see you
best of luck
both.
to him, Kay.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.